Indonesia. Okay, so that's the short profile about Bhante. All right. Okay, so if you are all ready to take precepts, maybe let's put ourselves in Anjali position again, and we will request for the precepts. Okay, let's do Aradhana, Disarana, and Pancasila. Mahyam Bhante Tisaranena Saha Pancasilang Niyacama Dutiyampi Mahyam Bhante Tisaranena Saha Pancasilang Niyacama Tatiyampi Mahyam Bhante Tisaranena Saha Pancasilang Niyacama
Yamahang Vadamitang Vadeta
Ama Bhante
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa
Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Dhammāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Dhammāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Sanghāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Sanghāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Dutiyampi Dhammāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Dutiyampi Dhammāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Dutiyampi Sanghāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Dutiyampi Sanghāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Tatiyampi Dhammāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Tatiyampi Dhammāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Tatiyampi Sanghāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Tatiyampi Sanghāṃ Saranang Gacchāmi
Saranagamanang Paripunnaṃ
Amma Bhante
Panatipatha Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami
Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
And this is for the 5 precepts. Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
This is for the 8th precept. Abrahmacharya Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. And this is for all. Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami.
This is for the 8th precept. Vikala Bhojana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Naca kita wadita visukadasana Mala ganda vilepana dharana mandana vibhusanatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Uccasayana Mahasayana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Imani panca sikkhapadani ca Attha sikkhapadani ca Silena sugatiyanti Silena bhoga sambadha Silena nibbuddhiṃ yanti Tasma silang visodhaye.
Amma Bhante Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Let's bow 3 times to the Bhante. Please be seated. Okay, I think I will pass the time to Bhante to lead us to give us instruction and the guided meditation.
So let us take Anjali to pay homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Buddha. Namo Buddhaya. So it is a very blessing day for all of us, as today we are going to practice one of the most important practical teachings of the Buddha, that is meditation, in the programs of one-day mindfulness. And before we are going to practice this mindfulness as a Buddhist meditation, it is good. There are some points that I need to come up for the explanation. In order to that, when we are practicing meditation, we are not going away from the right track in this meditation. Because as we know that nowadays, we have a lot of meditation techniques. That some of them are claiming to be the Buddhist meditation. And sometimes we are unable to decide which one the Buddhist meditation and which one not. So therefore, we have to understand some points, especially the principal points of the Buddhist meditation, so that we can understand and we can know what we have to do in this meditation. And this is a very important thing that we have to understand. And the first thing that I want to say here is that the term used by the Buddha for this meditation is Citta Bhavana. The meaning of Citta Bhavana is the development of the mind. It is the cultivation of the mind. And this term is very important because that will make difference between the Buddhist meditation comparing to others, the other kinds of meditation. Because when we are talking about meditation, normally some people identify this meditation just focusing mind, just the concentration. But in this cultivations of mind, in this Citta Bhavana, or the developments of mind, actually not only just concentration, but it has the wider meaning that we will understand, we will see. And this is very important for understanding the term of meditation in Buddhism as the Citta Bhavana, as the developments of mind. And in these developments of mind, there are two things that we have to understand, that we have to know, we have to practice, we have to do in this meditation. The two things. One is make an effort to eliminate the defilements of mind. So what we have to do in this meditation, the first thing is that we have to make an effort to eliminate the defilements of mind, or the hindrances of mind, or the pains of mind. So of course when we are talking about the pains of mind, the hindrances of mind, it is rooted from the greed, hatred and delusion. So whatever evil, unwholesome state of mind rooted on this greed, hatred and delusion, and we know, so we have to, as soon as possible, we notice it and we have to eliminate. And this is the first thing that we have to do in this meditation. And the second one, in this meditation, what we have to do in the process of practicing meditation, Citta Bhavana, we have to develop wholesome mental qualities. So actually the developments of these wholesome mental qualities, like for example the concentration, this is only one, because in the very beginning I say about meditation is normally be identified as a concentration, but this is only one of the aspects. But in Buddhism, not only just the concentration that we have to develop, but also the mindfulness, and then wisdom, and then the patience, the right effort, the calmness, the equanimity, and some other mental good qualities, wholesome good qualities should be developed in this meditation. But in order to develop these kinds of mental qualities, we have to slowly, gradually eliminate the defilements of mind. So this is the first thing that we have to do, to eliminate the defilements of mind as soon as it arises. It is just like when we plant something, for example, a farmer planting the plant that's important for them. And in order to grow this plant very well, so all the other plants which are not needed should be plucked out, should be pulled out, should be taken out. Only then this plant that this farmer needed will be growing. So likewise, when we are trying to develop these good mental qualities, the wholesome states of mind, like concentration, mindfulness, and other things, the things that we have to do first is that how to notice, how to detect these defilements of mind, notice it, and eliminate. That is what we have to do in this meditation. So now the question is that when actually these evil and wholesome state or these defilements of mind could rise, when we look into our experience in the day-to-day life, we will come to know that this defilement can arise at any time, at any condition, at any activity. whether we are sitting in the sitting meditation, or we are sitting in the day-to-day life, or when we are standing, we are walking, we are lying down, these defilements of mind can arise. Not only that, when we are using our six sense faculties, we are seeing the form, we are listening to the sound, we are smelling, we are touching, we are tasting the food, and then we are thinking about various kinds of thoughts, defilements of mind could rise, invading our mind. So these defilements of mind in the form of greed, hatred, and delusion, and any other defilements of mind could arise at any time, at any activities. So therefore, in the Buddhist meditation, the practice is not only just what normally people thought, only just sitting. But the practice of meditation should be practiced in all the time. In each and every moment, it must be the practice of meditation. The only thing is that we have to protect our mind. So the key of our meditation, of our citta bhavana, the mental development, is how we have to protect our mind in all the time, in each and every moment. In whatever activities that we are doing, as long as we keep our mind well, as long as we preserve our mind, we protect our mind, not to let our mind being carried away by the defilements of mind, that is the meditation. So whatever we are doing, whether we are sitting or standing or walking, whatever the activities that we are doing, that we protect our mind, that is within the range of meditation. So therefore the meditation in Buddhism is in all the time. So this is why the program is one day mindfulness. Because the whole day we have to put our mindfulness to protect our mind. And now, understanding that these defilements of mind could arise at any time, and then what we have to do in order to tame our mind, because when we see, when we look into our mind, we will understand that our mind is in a habit for a very long time, in a habit of being carried away by these defilements of mind, in the form of wandering mind, because our mind is in the habits of just wandering, either in the past to the past or to the future. We get easily anxious, we get easily fear, and so on. So this is our mind being shaken by the greed and hatred, by liking and disliking, and all these are the defilements of mind. And our mind is in the habit of these kind of pains, of these kind of evil, unwholesome states. And now, what we have to do in order to tame our mind? There is an analogy that can be found in one text. That is the Visuddhimagga. That is the analogy given by a very popular monk, the most venerable Acharya Buddha Ghosa, in the Visuddhimagga. In order to tame our mind, it is just like a person who tries to tame a young calf, wild calf. In order to tame this young wild calf, such a person needs two tools. One is a rope, another one is the pause. And this young calf is being tied by the neck, by that rope, and again being tied to the pause, which is already setting up firmly to the ground. And what happens when it is done? Is it that young calf immediately easy to be tamed? At that very moment, that young calf still trying to escape from that rope, still runs away. But no matter how far he runs, he will just come back. Again and again he come back. And ultimately, gradually, this wild young calf will be getting tired and sitting down under the post, tamed. So likewise, when we are trying to tame our mind, our wild mind, which already just in a habit of running away, going to the past, to the future, we also need the two kinds of tools, the rope and the pause. And the rope is the rope of mindfulness, while the pause is symbolizing the objects of meditation. So we need the mindfulness as the rope, and we also need the objects of meditation as the pause, our anchor, our home. So when our mind is wandering to the past or to the future, our mind is overwhelmed by the defilements of mind, by the hindrances, and then this rope of mindfulness will notice it and bring our mind back to the pause, to the objects of meditation. And in this case, for the sitting meditation, we will taking the object, the breathing out and in, as our objects of meditation. And that is the easiest object that we can use while sitting meditation. So, how it works? So when we are taking the objects of meditation, the breathing out and in as our objects of meditation, after a few seconds, after some times, because our mind is in habit of wandering, our mind is already wandering. After a few seconds wandering, either to the past or to the future, thinking about the past, thinking about the future, or getting anxious or getting restless, just wandering. And this mindfulness, this in Buddhism called sati, will notice, will detect that wandering mind. What is going on now, that wandering mind? It will notice it. Not only just notice this wandering mind, but also this mindfulness plays the role to bring the mind back to the objects of meditation, the breathing out and in. So we can feel around in the nasal cavity, inside the nose, we can feel it, the touch of it, and that we will notice there is a breathing out and breathing in. And after some time, again, our mind is wandering. But then, the rope of mindfulness will notice it and bring back the mind to this breathing out and in. When we are doing this in such a way, again and again, ultimately, gradually, the mind will be still. The mind will be settled down. The mind will be familiar with the objects of breathing out and in, and settled down, still, and tamed. And this is what we have to do. So, whenever the mind is going away, and then we have to come back to the objects of meditation. Again going away, we have to come back to the object of meditation. This is what we have to do while sitting meditation. But of course, before we are sitting, we have to prepare ourselves, the posture of sitting properly. So we have to use the cross-legged, especially those who are sitting on the ground, on the asana. We use the cross-legged position, but of course, each and everyone can have the different posture of cross-legged, but the most important is you have to do it comfortably. That is most important. And not only just we are sitting cross-legged, but also we have to straighten our body. That is very important. It is stated in the commentary literature when we are sitting with the body erect, the body is straight. That is helping us to breathe smoothly, to breathe easily. Because we are using this breathing out and in as our objects of meditation. So when we are breathing easily, smoothly, that also will help us to concentrate, to focus our mind to the breathing out and in. And this is the first advantage of sitting with the erect body. And the second, when we sit straight, with the body straight, that also will have an element of effort. And because when we are sitting, this is actually our body is relaxed. But then, at the same time, it makes easy for us to get sleepy. But then when we are having the erect body, so that has the elements of effort. So not easily to get sleepy. So it is different when we are sitting not with the body erect. It is very easy to get sleepy. But somehow when we have this proper posture, of course the sleepiness still arises. But somehow it is easy to be noticed. So that will make us to be more aware of this sleepiness, and then we can just get away from sleepiness. So this is also the advantage of having this sitting position with the erect body. And another thing is that when we are having this good posture while sitting, our backbone is also keeping in order. So it is not easily to make pain, because when we are sitting, it is better if we get the good position, good posture, and then it's not easily to get pain. So we can sit properly, comfortably for a long time longer than if we are sitting not proper way. So this is also the important things why we have to sit in the erect body. So the Buddha said in Pali, that's 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐭𝐞. 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐭𝐞 means the erect body. And then after we get the good posture in accordance to our comfortable posture, before we are focusing our mind to this object, to this breathing out and in, we also have to make sure that our body in the total relaxation. It is also very important because the relaxed body is actually having the elements of letting go, the elements of non-attachment. One of the mental qualities that we have to develop within this meditation is how our mind is easily to get, not to get attached to anything. We are using even the objects of meditation without any attachment. So likewise, when we have the relaxed body, that is also the way how we don't attach to the body. So we have to put down our body. Just like when you are going to sleep, so you put down your whole body. You don't get stressed with your body. You just make it as relaxed as possible. So likewise, in this sitting meditation, you also have to make sure that your body is in the total relaxation. So you can just feel it part by part, perhaps from your head to the toe, part by part, and make sure that whole part of the body is in the total relaxation. Or you can scan the whole body from the top to the down. You scan by your mind and feel it. Make sure your whole body is relaxed. And after getting relaxed, you can slowly bring your mind to the breathing out and in. Just breathing out and in normally. You don't have to force your breathing. Just breathe normally as usual. But your mind is total aware. You just aware of this breathing out and in. At the same time, your body is also relaxed. And that is the way that we are practicing meditation. And then when the mind is already wandering, because you have the mindfulness, so you notice it and bring your mind back to the breathing out and in. No matter how long your mind is wandering, then you notice and then you bring back your mind to the breathing out and in. And no matter how many your mind is already wandering, just bring back the mind to the breathing out and in. And this is a practice. This is a training. So when you bring your mind to the breathing out and in, that means you are living in the present moment. You are not wandering to the past, not to the future, but you are living here and now in the very present moment. And this is the way of training our mind to be here and now. And when our mind is here and now, that means our mind is not being carried away by the defilements of mind. Because the defilements of mind usually manifest into the wandering mind, to the past, to the future. But when your mind in the very present moment, now, here and now, it means that the defilements of mind is not there, is absent. So this is what we have to do in this sitting meditation. And while walking meditation is actually the same. So the key is the same. You are just walking slowly. You can just find the place that you can walk, not going around the straight path. And then you just walking slowly. And again, you have to have the mindfulness. Mindfulness and the objects of meditation. The objects of meditation, while in the sitting meditation, you are using this breathing out and in, but in the walking meditation, you can just use every step as the objects of meditation. You just aware of your step, right, left, right, left. You cannot within your mind, while your left foot stepping, you just not left. When your right foot stepping, you just not right. Just like that, this also is a training to bring your mind in this very present moment. Just walking slowly, mindfully. So that is also the way. And when your mind is wandering, the same. Just bring back to the left and right foot, noting that. And that is also the way how we are practicing mindfulness, developing mindfulness in this one-day mindfulness. I think this is the explanation for introduction for this meditation. If suppose there is something that you still have the doubt, perhaps you can ask, or you can continue our meditation. Now, the time is very limited.
So, anyone have any questions first before we start?
I think the time is very limited, so we can start for meditation. Okay. And according to the schedule, we have to sit 1 hour, right? 1 hour, and then after that we can have the questions and answers. Okay, we can start our meditation. You prepare yourself to sit with the postures, cross-legged, and straight your body, but do it with relax. You can put your palms of your hands on the laps, on top each other. You close your eyes, and you can feel your whole body. You can scan it, or you can feel it part by part, and make sure there is no any part of your body is feeling heavy or stressful. Make sure your whole body relaxed, total relaxed. After your body is in a total relax, you can bring your mind with mindfulness to focus, to concentrate your mind to the breathing out and in by feeling the touch, the nasal cavity around the nose. You can feel it, the touch there, and you cannot gently within your mind, breathing out, breathing in, out, in, out. Whenever your mind is wandering, notice it, and immediately bring your mind, your mindfulness to the objects of meditation, breathing out and in. Time to time, You also can see your whole body, whether your whole body is in the state of relax or not, and make it relax. Make sure in the whole meditation your body in the state of total relaxed. You can continue your meditation. when your mind is wandering, remember to come back to your breathing out and in. Again wandering, come back to the breathing out and in. Now you can open your eyes slowly, and the meditation ends. Okay.
Do you have any question? If you have any question, you can raise your hand. I'll pass the mic to you.
Okay. If you have any questions, or perhaps you want to say about your experience in the meditation, so the time is yours. Okay.
Ya, selamat pagi Bhante. Saya Livia Ho, kelahiran di Jakarta tapi tinggal di Singapura. Sorry, I speak Malaya bahasa.
Yeah, it's
lebih lancar ya. Okay. Begini Bhante, saya cuma mau tanya satu karena saya jarang bertatap muka meditasi langsung dengan Bhante gitu ya. Kebanyakan saya lihat online, jadi kan nggak bertatap muka, nggak bisa bertanya. Maksud saya kalau tangan deh Bhante, karena tangan Bhante laki-laki kayaknya panjang ya. Saya wanita pendek, kalau saya begini kesulitan, kurang tinggi, mesti diganjel gitu, bantal di rumah. Tapi kalau saya buka di YouTube banyak sekali pelajarannya Bhante, jadi bikin bingung. Dia bilang buka baru bisa menerima energi, tutup tidak. Tapi ada yang bilang bebas. Nah kebetulan hari ini saya ketemu Bhante, itu tangan ada cara yang pasti atau bagaimana Bhante, apa yang enaknya saja. Yeah. Itu saja yang pertanyaan saya. Terima kasih.
Okay, you can understand what she's asking. Yeah, actually she's asking about how to place our hand, whether we can put on the lap or on other part of our body. And she also asking whether we have to open our palms of hand or if we have to close like this. And according to some information, when it is open and then it will take the energy, right? So actually in Buddhism, again, I have to emphasize here that meditation is not to get a kind of energy, but it is about how to protect our mind, how we have to not to let our minds being overwhelmed by defilements, by hindrances, and this is the most important in this Buddhist meditation. We are using our mindfulness in order to detect whenever the hindrances or the pains of mind arising, and then we have to eliminate by our effort, by at least by coming back to the objects of meditation. And this is the most important during our meditation. And about the posture of our body and also our hand, actually the most important is that we feel comfortable. So there is no any kind of reference in the discourses or in the Tipitaka that our hands should be, for example, on the lap. There is no any kinds of reference. But of course we can see, like in some Buddha statue, the ancient Buddha statue through archaeology, we can see that in the posture of meditation for the Buddha, normally just the hand is being placed on the lap like this one. But it is not. It doesn't mean that we have to do like that. Even we can put our hand on the knee like this one. Just relax. No need to be open or no need to be closed. The most important, we put it in the relaxed way, whatever we feel comfortable. So whether we are placing on the lap or on the knee, it's okay, no problem. The most important, we feel comfortable, and we can just, focus our mind to the body, to this breathing out and in, and our hand, wherever you are putting somewhere. The most important, you feel comfortable, that's okay. But of course, normally on the lap and some others on the knee. That is a normal day. And you don't have to make a kinds of difference. For example, if we see like in the YouTube or in social media, sometimes in the Photoshop, in the picture, you are having this kind of position like this one. No need to do that, because this is not important in the Buddhist meditation. The most important is that the mind. We protect our mind from the defilements of mind. That's the most important. About the posture, about the hand, it is not really important, but you just do it in a comfortable way. That's all. Okay, I think, yeah, clear.
Hi,
Okay.
Bhante. I find that there's a lot of tension when I'm trying to sit upright. So there's a tendency to just lean so that the body can relax. So do you have some advice for that?
It's okay because you are sitting on the chair. So the most important, you can relax. Relax but not sleepy. Because sometimes when we get relax and then without any kind of the elements of effort, and then we get sleepiness. Right? The most important, we have this body relax, but in the meantime, in the same time, we also have this awareness. Not to let our minds wandering or get sleepy, but be aware of everything, of what is going on. That's enough. But of course, we can stretch our body, but it is also in the comfortable way. Because when we erect our body, but in the way that we get tense, that's also not good. So we are straightening our body, we erect our body, but in the same time, we also get relaxed. If you feel relaxed, like a little bit down, it's okay. You get relaxed, you feel comfortable, but you are aware, you have this mindfulness to put your mind to the object, and that is the way to practice this meditation. Yeah. Okay?
Hi, Bhante. Thank you very much. During the meditation, for an instant, just to, I followed instructions, and then for a moment, I just didn't want to come out for a few seconds. I just felt I don't want to come back to my body and all that. But then the mind said, hey, look, this is your real life. You have to come back when you wake up. So it comes back. But I did feel for the moment I didn't want to come in. It's like when the mind was just let go, it was such a nice feeling. But then the thought came back. You actually have to go back and deal with your real life. So this thoughts start coming back. How do I then? Do you understand what I mean? Sorry.
The most important in that very moment, whatever you experience, perhaps you are right, or in the place of somewhere else, in the very deep concentrations, you are not really feeling your body, but you understand, you know what is happening. That's actually okay. That's actually enough. Because in this way of meditation, sometimes we just follow what is happening. The most important that we know what is happening. And you just aware what is happening. Even though it is not real, the person body, but you know what is happening. That's okay, no problem. And it is different from when you get kind of sleepiness and wandering mind, and then going to somewhere else, and then you know nothing. That's different.
Yeah, I didn't feel sleepy, but I just like that feeling of mind just let go. That nice feeling that I don't want
it's
to come.
Okay.
Yeah,
but because you know what is happening, you feel happy, you feel nice, you feel comfortable, and you know what is happening. That's also the way of meditation.
Yeah. But the mind came and said that this is just meditating. You've got to go back to your real life. That it came back. That it just, you know what I mean? It pulls you out. The mind is so naughty. It
It's okay.
Yeah.
You come back and you not, you aware. And then
It's
again,
like, oh my God,
you come to
focus.
deep inside. It's okay.
Okay.
This is the training.
I see. So keep doing this thing
Yes,
then.
you keep doing that. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the most important, in whatever you experience, you have the mindfulness. You know what is happening. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank
Okay.
you.
Anyone? Yeah.
Bhante, thanks for the guidance. I just have a question. When I focus on my breathing in and out, right, and after a while, then I think my leg went to sleep. Then somehow the focus a bit shifting between breathing and also the painful leg. So how do I go about going back to the focus in the breathing instead of worrying about the pain in my leg and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Even I myself, because I'm using the different seat, so it is easy for me to get pain. But somehow, in this training, we have to bear about the pain, even for sometimes, because we have a habit of being carried away by liking and disliking. That is our habit, our mental habit. When we experience the pleasant feeling, we get easily attached to that. The greediness rises, and that is also the pains of mind, the cause of suffering. But when we get the pain, unpleasant feeling, we have the habit of avoiding. We have a habit of hating, and that is also the defilements of mind. And that is our habit. We are just all the time, almost all the time, being shaken by liking and disliking. Therefore, when we are sitting meditations or any kinds of posture of meditation, when we get pain, at least even for sometimes, we train our mind to bear, to keep calm, even though it is very difficult. We train our mind to be equanimity, to be equanimous, to be balanced, not to have the hatred, not to avoid. But of course, it is very, very difficult because our long habit is just to avoid, to hate what is not pleasant for us. And what happened at that moment when we are still doing meditation, we can do the two things. The first, whether we put our minds focusing on the painful feeling, this physical painful feeling, we can just observe the pain feeling. Or the second one, we can observe our mental, our mind, how the mind responding this painful feeling, with hatred or with the kind of, it is impossible to have the happiness to get to see that painful feeling, but the hatred, we can just see the fluctuation of the mind. The hatred arises, the feeling to get up, the emotion to get up from that painful feeling. So we can focus on these two. For sometimes, we don't have to come back to the breathing out and in, but we can just observe that painful feeling with the mind calm, with the mind balance, with the equanimous mind, or we can see the mental, the mind, the fluctuation of the mind, the observing, the hatred, the disliking which arises, the intention for getting up from the sitting or to move our posture. So we can see there. And after perhaps 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we are doing that, but we cannot bear, okay, you can move your body, you can perhaps get up, but do it with mindful. still you have to do mindfulness. So that's okay. But at least you train yourself, you train your mind, not easily to avoid the painful feeling. Because whenever we get the pain, even a little pain, and then we just move our body, move our posture, or we change our posture, that is a old habit, and that is not good. That is not the way of training. So we have to bear even just few minutes, and after that, if you cannot bear it, you can just change your posture. You can get up, even you can walk, meditation, but do it with mindful. You can do that. Okay. Yeah. So anyone get pain today while sitting meditation? Okay. Okay. Yes.
Bhante, when watching the breath, I feel that my whole body is breathing. So should I still focus on the nose cavity, or I feel the whole body breathing in and out?
Yeah. Actually, when we are focusing our mind to the breathing out and in, it doesn't mean that our mind fully focus on the breathing out and in. Because at the same time, you also can feel the whole body. You see, this is just like when we are cutting the wood. You see, with the saw, we are cutting. Which part that we focus, which part of the wood that we focus? In the place where this saw is cutting, right? But in the same time, we also can see, we can know another part of the wood. The left part, you also can see. Right part, you also can see. And even be aware of our body moving. We also aware of the soul is moving, right? But our focus is in the place where the wood is cutting, is being cut. But at the same time, some other places, some other part, we also aware. So likewise, when we are focusing our mind to the breathing out and in, we are focusing there. But at the same time, we also can feel the whole body. We also can feel that this body is breathing. This body is moving with the rhythm of this breathing out and in. And even at the same time, you also can feel the feeling of body. Whether you feel comfortable or you can feel the pain. But at the same time, you also can see the breathing out and in. But at the same time, you also can feel the painful feeling of your body. You can feel the comfortable feeling, the peaceful mind. Even you can see the thought coming and going. But most of the focus is on the breathing out and in. And that's enough for this meditation, for this training. That's okay. I think you can understand, right, about this. Yeah. But of course, if you have the time, even though you can feel the whole body, you can feel how the feeling rises and passes, you can see the thought coming and going, but when you have the time, when your mind is coming, and then again you have to really focus on the breathing out and in. So at any time, you try to focus on the breathing out and in, even though you can feel other parts of the body, even though you can see how the mind, how the thought coming and going. But you also have to make an effort to fully focus on the breathing out and in. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Bhante. Could you just talk more a bit about maintaining mindfulness throughout the day when we go about our day-to-day, our work and all that? Thank you.
Mindfulness in Buddhism is called sati, attention, mindfulness. Actually, we are as a human beings already have the capability of being mindful. And we have this capacity. We are capable of being mindful. The only thing is that many of us doesn't care of this capability of being mindful. And how we can understand that we have the mindfulness as a human beings. Sometimes I use a simile. When you are trying to walk on the path, on the road, very, the road via a lot of kind of thorn, that you can walk very slowly, you have to walk very slowly. You have to walk very mindfully. You have to walk very carefully. Because if you don't careful, if you are not mindful, and then you can just get torn by the thorn, you get injured by the thorn. So, in that moment of walking with careful, with mindful, you don't let your mind wandering. That is actually the elements of mindfulness. So we are walking on the road. We are a lot of thorn, and then we have to walk mindful. We know that we have to be mindful. We have to be very careful. We have to not to let our mind just wandering, but here and now, mindful. That is a mindfulness, and that is how we have to put that kind of state of mind in this meditation. We are mindful about what is happening within our mind in the meditation. We are mindful about this breathing out and in. When our mind is wandering, we know that our mind is wandering. And then we have to come back to the breathing. And that is mindfulness. When we are walking also the same. We are walking and then we are always mindful, we careful, we know what is happening here and now. Not to let our mind wandering. Whenever the mind is wandering and then we come back to the walking, we know each and every step of walking, that is a mindfulness. In the day-to-day life, in other activities, we know what is happening, we know what we are doing. Our mind is not wandering to the past or to the future. Really, we know what is happening, what we are doing, while eating, while drinking, while going to the toilet, whatever things that we are doing and we know what is happening, that is also mindfulness. And that is what we have to do in this training. Perhaps this kind of mindfulness is a kind of simpler thing. But remember, most of the time, our mind is wandering. Most of the time, our mind is not in this here and now, in the present moment. We are just, let the mind wandering to the past, to the future, get anxious, get fear, not in the present moment. So this mindfulness is how bring our mind to this very present moment, here and now, knowing what is happening. And when we are knowing what is happening, and we have the wisdom, we have the understanding, you learn a lot of things about the Buddha's teaching, and that wisdom can be used for eliminating the defilements of mind. Because the one which detects the arisings of defilements of mind is the mindfulness. But the one which cuts off the defilements of mind is the wisdom, your understanding. You know what is happening, You know the rising of the defilements, and you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, and that is the weapon to cut that defilement. So this is the way of mindfulness. So actually the mindfulness is not working by alone, but mindfulness is working with wisdom. So in Buddhism, not only just sati, not only just mindfulness, but also sampajana. There is sati, there is sampajana. Sampajana is understanding. Sampajana is wisdom, knowledge, especially about the Buddha's teaching in this practice of Buddhist meditation. So when you have this mindfulness, you're mindful in your life, and you know what is happening, and by that, the wisdom plays its role to cut the defilements of mind off. That is the way. I hope you can understand. Okay.
Bhante, how about lying down position? Some people say that, oh, I'm meditating before I'm going to sleep. So, what is Bhante comment on that? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Actually, the lying down meditation, of course, in the discourses of the Buddha, the four postures are stated. Just like in Karanyamita Sutta, that normally in the Buddhist chanting is recited. They also mention about the four kinds of posture to develop the loving kindness. Titang carang, nisinowa, sayanowa, yavatasa, vigatamido. Right? Titang, standing, carang, walking, nisino, sitting, sayang is lying down. But there is no any reference that what is the posture of lying down. No any reference in the discourses. What is the posture? While we are meditating in the posture of laying down, no any reference. The most important is that when you are sleeping, before you are getting sleep, you are getting sleep on the bed, and whatever you, the way of you lay down, most important is that you have the mindfulness. You just scan your body and then be relaxed. You can feel the breathing out and in and just sleep. Before you are sleeping, you have that mindfulness to the body, scanning your body, and you can just feel your breathing out and in. Whatever posture you lay down, that is the meditation. But of course, the way of the Buddha lay down, but this is not the meditation, but this is the way of the Buddha and other liberated ones lay down, is just like the posture of lion. You know, so sitting on the right body, and then the legs overlapping to each other, and just like the lion posture. So a little bit, you know, this back is little bit crooked, just like this lion. But that is not actually in the discourses not mentioned to be the posture of meditation. That is a posture of the Buddha was sleeping. But of course, if we want to do like that, we can have that kind of posture before sleeping. And we can meditate in that kind of posture. That's also a good thing. But the Buddha has a habit like this. In that kind of posture, he is sleeping, but before sleeping, he will just having the mindfulness. But that mindfulness is not the mindfulness that aware of the body, but the mindfulness is in terms that he will make a kind of thought that I will get sleep in such a long, for example, like today, before we are sleeping, and then we make kind of determination. Tomorrow, I will get up at 4 o'clock, like that. And then we just get sleep. So tomorrow I will get up at 4 o'clock. And normally when we are doing that, tomorrow morning, around 4 o'clock, we will just waking up. And then when we wake up in around 4 o'clock, we have to get up. Otherwise, and then we continue to sleep, and then we'll be longer sleep. Because after waking up, and then we just see the clock, and then a little more, like just 5 minutes more, and then we continue to sleep. Normally we will just sleeping longer, because nicer after that. So after we wake up, we have to get up. And that is the way of the Buddha and his disciple to do that. But that is not the meditation. Just having that kind of thought that tomorrow I have to get up in such a time. So like that, yeah. Because yesterday someone asked me whether it has the lying down meditation. I think it is not possible here to lay down and then all sleep. Okay, yes.
Hello, Bhante. Thank you for your meditation guidance. I would like to clarify for the mindfulness of breathing. Are we mindful of the bodily sensations of breathing, or is it about the knowing of the breathing? Thank you.
Yeah, actually, it is a knowing of breathing, but it is also being helped by knowing the sensation of the thoughts around this nasal cavity. Because, the so-called knowing of the things can happen only when there is a touch, or when there is a phassa, that is a touch. So, the feeling comes from the touch, the phassa. Phassa, paccaya, vedana. So with the touch, as the condition, there arises a feeling. So that feeling comes from the phassa, from the touch, and that makes understanding, makes the knowing. So we know the feeling because of the touch. So we know the breathing in and out because of the touch. Even though the touch is not really clear, but actually we understand, we know there is a touch somewhere else. Even we don't really focus on the touch in the nasal cavity, but somehow we can understand, we can know there is breathing out and in because of the touch, but not really focusing there, not really focusing on the touch, but in the knowing. But the knowing itself, the breathing out and in, because of the sensation, because of the touch, because of the feeling, and that we know. So that's why, according to commentary literatures, when we are focusing our mind to the breathing out and in, we can put our mind to the touch of the nasal cavity there. But of course, not necessarily we have to really put our mind in the specific touch. The most important, we know that the breathing out and in is going on, and with focusing the mind around this nasal, around this nose. That's all actually. Because if we focus to the touch, sometimes the object is not the breathing out and in. Later on changes into the 4 elements. The bodily 4 elements changes into that. So in this breathing out and in, we know the breathing out and in. Although it is helped by the touch, the sensation, but the focus is in the knowing. Yeah,
Thank
you
you,
can understand, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
you, Bhante. So adding on to that question just now, if I'm not wrong, in the Anapanasati Sutta, it said to be mindful of breathing long and short. So if we don't have to be so mindful of the touch, then how does the long and short come in? Thank you.
Actually, before that, even before we know the long and short breathing out and in this Anapanasati Sutta, the discourse on the breathing out and in mindfulness, in the very beginning, even we just know the breathing out and in the very beginning. So it is stated as Sattva Asasati, Sattva Pasasati. So such a person who are practicing meditation, just mindfully breathing in and mindfully breathing out. And after some times, and then can see the breathing out long or breathing in short. And after that, and there will be another step. But even in the very beginning, just knowing the breathing out and in, that's enough. And actually the sensation is only the help. Because as I mentioned to her that this understanding, this knowing is impossible to happen without any phasa, without any touch. We know something because there is a touch there. So we know the breathing out and in because of there is a touch. Because the breathing out and in is actually the elements of this body. This is a rupa khanda. So this rupa can be understood, can be known only by the touch. So even though our focus not really on the touch or the sensation, our focus in the knowing of the breathing out and in, but somehow in the same time there is a touch there. Just like the questions about whether we have to focus our breathing out and in or the breathings of the whole body. Because even we focus out on this breathing out and in on the around the nose, but we in the same time also we can feel that the whole body is moving. We can understand. And the motion of the body is also the touch. That is the phasa. So by seeing there's sensation and breathing out and in, ultimately we also can see, oh, this is a long breath. This is a short breath. So that's okay. Yeah.
Okay, maybe we have time for one last question.
Thanks, Bhante, for the teachings. Just to clarify following the earlier question, so I remember the Sutta also said that breathing aware of the whole body of the breath. So does it mean the whole body of the breath is referring to from the beginning to the end of the breath? Thank you.
Yeah. That's according to commentary literature. So when it is stated as knowing the whole body, because that discourse not mentioning about the whole body of the breath, just the whole body. Sabha kaya parisangveti. So knowing or experiencing the whole body sabha kaya. But then in the commentary literature, it is stated that it is referring to the whole body of the breath. So the beginning, the middle, and the end. We train ourselves, our mind, to see, to know the whole body of the breath. Because sometimes some people just see the last of the breath, or sometimes just know the middle of the breath, and sometimes just know in the very beginning, but the middle and the end, the last one, are not seen by some people. So in this very training, we try to train our mind, ourselves, to see the very beginnings of the breath, middle, and the end. So this is how in discourses it is stated, Sabha kaya parisangveti, asasi samiti sikati. such a person train himself that I breathe, experiencing the whole body. So the whole body here is that the breathing out and in from the beginning, middle, and the end. But of course, just like what he also experienced, when we see this breathing out and in, or we feel the breathing out and in, we also can see the whole body. We can experience the whole body, real whole body. And the more we can see the beginning, middle, and the end of the breathing out and in, we also can see the whole body all the time. So that is what is happening. But of course, in this training, we try to see the whole body of the breath. Rather, and then we can see the whole body, the real whole body, or what we train ourselves to see the whole body of the breath. That is the meaning according to commentary literature. But somehow in the practice also in such a way that we have to, as much as possible, to see the breath from the very beginning to the end. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. So let's say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll now break for lunch first, right? So I think we will invite Bhante to return to his place, right?
Yeah, thank you very much.
So shall we put ourselves in Anjali position?